NPLC was fabulous. I think it was the best decision I could have possibly taken. At NPLC, I think I actually felt heard. I actually felt like, there is someone who I'm talking to. It wasn't just a massive corporation. There were actual people behind it, and that really, really makes a difference. It helped keep me motivated, and just an all-round phenomenal decision, I think. And I don't think I could have done this without the help of NPLC.
How are you now? Tell me. Are you great? Is it?
Yes, sir. It's an absolutely awesome feeling.
How happy you? It sounds a very stupid question, but how happy you are? Are you very happy? Are you extremely happy? Possibly it would sound as if I'm giving you options of a critical reasoning question. The options are so close that you will not be able to tell whether you are very happy, you are extremely happy, you are happy, or you are not happy. What do you think you are? Right?
So definitely not happy. But yeah, so it's hard to quantify it. It's absolutely surreal.
So if a question like this comes, then what is the state of mind of Aditya Ankhad? Will he able to pick a choice? Is he extremely happy or is he very happy?
Sir, I'm leaving this question and going next.
I'm not still in a confused mode. Sir, B भी ठीक लग रहा है, C भी ठीक लग रहा है. A मुझे पता है.
Can we do oblique? So can we get both?
Let's take it to mock analysis, right?
Grace mark, sir. Grace mark.
So somebody, no, Aditya, I think is very happy. People will know Aditya is extremely happy, right? Okay, great, Aditya. To begin with, I'm extremely proud of you. Matlab, I cannot express it in my words. Reason being, what you have done is something is not very usual. And believe me, you will not get similar opportunity all through your life, right? These moments are very, very, very special. You do not write entrances every day or every month. You write it in couple of years, maybe you write one. Then if you decide to be an IAS officer, possibly then you will be writing UPSC exams. Otherwise, possibly, and I'm sure you will not be able to write any entrances more, right? So these moments are very special, and I think you have worked very hard. We have seen you working. We have seen you there in all the mock discussions, everything we have seen you, in every possible mode. Like the last 1 year we have been together. And so Aditya, first thing, I think you are All India rank 4. So now people want to know, who is Aditya Ankhad, right? So a silent person, Abhi Davik and all came. So of course, so we had, अब तुम online connect कर रहे हो, so हमारे पास केक नहीं तुमको हम खिला सकते, but we had a cake. So वो लोग घबरा गए कि इस बेसमेंट बुला के सर तो इतना बेइज्जत करते थे हम लोग को, now आज हमें केक मिल रहा है खाने के लिए, right? So इतने डरे से थे while eating the cake, right? कि what is happening? But again, they have also made very, like, अब तो खैर तुम लोग सब NLS Bangalore में साथ ही होगे. So Aditya, my first question would be, who are you? Which school you do? And everything, just briefly if you can tell, so that people can correlate what it is all about.
Sure, sir. So I'm Aditya Ankhad. I go to the Dhirubhai Ambani International School. I am also the head boy of my school. And I have secured All India rank 4 in CLAT 2025.
Aditya, so you go to Dhirubhai Ambani International School. So you have all your celebrities as your batchmates there, right? The ones we see in reels, right? Okay, anyways, that's great. But my observation is, Dhirubhai Ambani School, a resume of yours would look like Dhirubhai Ambani School, then NLS Bangalore, right? Now this combo is so deadly that, I got a resume like this, I would have been completely mesmerized. कि यार ये बंदा है क्या, ये आदमी क्या है जो धीरूभाई अंबानी स्कूल से पढ़ के आकर वो एनएलएस बैंगलोर चला गया. Because when we hear about your school, we go by a perception कि ये सब तो अमेरिका जाएंगे, they'll go to US, then they'll go to UK. So my next question would be around that. Why did you choose to stick to India? And I think we never talked about LNAT perspectives, right? We are mostly clear that barring once when we discussed about it, So I think you
Yeah.
are mostly clear कि तुमको यही रहना है. So where do you get this sincerity from that studying in similar schools, right? And then ready to take on the battle of an Indian exam, such an exam like CLAT, which is so unpredictable, and an exam with no syllabus. So where does the inspiration come from?
So firstly, I think it's just the fact that I really wanted to study law. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I wanted to do it in India. I think that, I love India. I love being here. I definitely want to live here for the rest of my life. So it's something that I always wanted to do. So I think it made a lot of sense for me to stay in India. And as for giving CLAT, I was apprehensive initially. I think there was a little bit of fear. What if that one day goes wrong? What if something happens? What if I lose focus? But I sort of just decided let's start preparing and let's see where it goes. And as it got closer and closer, I think my confidence also grew. I sort of understood that no matter what happens on the day, I know that I will go to a good law school. I started developing that confidence in my abilities, and I think it paid off in the end.
Okay. It sounds great, Aditya. So I'm very, very impressed. Right? I was always impressed that an Ambani boy is coming and saying that he wants to write CLAT, and then he's so serious, and then he's doing so well in all the mocks, right? So that is something which goes against a basic human perception, right? Okay, great. Yeah. Now, second thing I would ask you, Aditya, right? So how many mocks did you write entire year?
So I must have written maybe 80 or 90 over the entire year. I started tracking about the last 60 mocks on an Excel sheet where I divided my scores based on different sections, and I wrote down the pass score just so I could have some clarity on sort of where I was standing. And mocks are up and down. That's unfortunately how it is. So there were some where I did very, very well. I was above what you said would be a good score. There was some where I was far below, and I think the great part in all of this was I sort of just learned that it's okay, things do go wrong sometimes, but that's not a defining factor. It's something I can deal with. It's something that I can learn from and move on from.
Okay, I got it, Aditya. So considering I'm not a third person, considering I've taught you and we have been together for over a year now, so I understand what exactly you mean, and so I'm sure everybody else will be able to correlate. My next question would be to Aditya. In terms of GK, see, I presume and I understand the sort of background and school you are from. It is obvious that you would be good at the language part, but then again, then comes general knowledge, right? So we didn't know, and nobody knew that a GK of this level would feature in the exam, right? And you were very good at it. I've seen you in quizzes, I've seen you in classrooms, so you were actually good. Now my question to you would be, how could you manage, and what was the reason that you could manage so much of learning, and where were you getting that inspiration from, that I have to mug up things and all, then when you were so good at the language part?
So I think there's two things here. So firstly, I think my language skills did help me because it sort of helped me read very quickly and retain information quite well. So sort of, just reading a PDF maybe 2 times, 3 times max, I'd sort of know most of the information. And I think the other thing that really helped me was the sheer volume of just the amount of sort of reading that I ended up doing. Of course, you know this better than anyone. We used to have targets where it would be a different PDF each week to start with, and it became 2 and then 3, and then by the end of it was just like 6, 7, 8, 10 months of GK in one test. So I think just the volume, it's impossible to cover everything, but I think it was just picking my battles, picking what I thought was important and going into detail in that. And also just picking what I'm reading. I didn't spend time reading every single resource that I had available to me. I picked the ones that I thought were easier to understand and had more relevant information in detail. So I think it's, of course, hard work is important, but also working smart is very, very important. And I think that's something that I was able to do quite well.
Which is true. I can correlate. Okay, so Aditya, I have understood. Now tell me something. Logical reasoning is a huge issue for most of the people, right? The logical, when I say logical, I mean critical in specific, right? So any advice you would like to give to people on the critical reasoning part and overall reading skills as well?
Yeah, so I would say firstly, just read as much as you possibly can. And after you do a couple of mocks, you sort of get the hang of the kinds of topics that they like to sort of give passages about. So one of the things that I did was, and what I realized is that I was very good at global politics in general. It's one of my subjects at school. So I found those passages easier. So what I did is for other passages which are economics related, which are philosophy related, which I didn't know as much about, I used to be a little slow. So during my summer break, I sat with a couple of textbooks, YouTube videos and all, just learned the fundamentals and the basics of all of these different topics, and when you have a basic grasp of what they're talking about, it's much easier to sort of extract information from the passage. So that was I think the big thing that I did to sort of get my logical reasoning scores up. And apart from that, just read as much as you can, like fiction, non-fiction, it doesn't matter. Just as long as it's something that's not the most interesting to you. And I think that really helped me firstly pick up things very quickly and easily. And also it helped my reading speed a lot in passages that I wasn't immediately understanding. Because of course you have to be prepared in an exam like CLAT that, they'll throw some googly at you, something weird will come, and it's just about dealing with that on the day then.
Okay. So now we know that you are heading towards NLS Bangalore, right? Possibly you also wanted this to happen. So my next question to you, Aditya, is how was your experience with NPLC?
I think NPLC was fabulous. I think it was the best decision I could have possibly taken. Firstly, the caliber of students around me was all excellent, which pushed me to study. Of course, so you were phenomenal, not just in the sort of resources you gave us, but also, moderating mock discussions, ensuring that we are discussing mocks, are understanding our mistakes, clarifying doubts, teaching us concepts that we need to know for both CLAT and ALET. So I think it was phenomenal. And I had initially started with before I joined NPLC, but I think there's a huge difference between the two. It was like I was just 1 out of a million. I was just one more face, one more enrollment number. But at NPLC, I think I actually felt heard. I actually felt like, there is someone who I'm talking to. It wasn't just a massive corporation. There were actual people behind it, and that really, really makes a difference. It helped keep me motivated, and just an all-round phenomenal decision, I think. And I don't think I could have done this without the help of NPLC.
I'm so happy to hear this. Yes, we do not take everybody, right? So of course the crowd here is very regulated, and it is to ensure, because this is such an exam that if you go into the masses and if you start doing that, possibly you will not be able to justify. So we were able to discuss those mocks. Reason being, there were limited number of people. Otherwise, you cannot moderate, right? Like that. Okay, got it. So Aditya, and what's way forward now? How relaxed or how tensed are you about the board exams?
I'm not too tense about the board exams now, but I do really want to do well. I do want to be an IB world topper as well. I think that it's always a good idea to sort of keep your foot on the gas, just keep going, keep working hard, because it always pays off at some point in time. And, maybe not directly, but the learning, it's all worth it in the end. And I also think it would be pretty cool to be able to say CLAT All India ranked number 4, IB world topper in the same sentence about myself.
And anyways, you're also the head boy of Dhirubhai Ambani.
Yes,
school, right?
Yes, that
in itself defines you, right? So that is
definitely,
there. And you will be very happy to know, Aditya, that the friends who used to argue with you over mocks and everything, they also have done really well. So, I'll tell you something, once I got a call from your father, and he told, sir, when you write that, this should be the cutoff for top 3, why don't you write the cutoff for NLS Bangalore, right? So I think he was so clear about you being sent to NLS Bangalore that he was not even interested for top 3. He was like, "Hota na, just, can you please tell me what would be the cutoff for Bangalore, right?" So that is a confidence he has on you. So of course, he was very happy. We had exchanged words last year, I think last late night we had heard and all. So he's very happy, and everybody around you is very. How has school treated you like this? As like, how unusual and how happy are they?
So I haven't been to school yet, but I of course intend on taking chocolates and all for all my teachers and everyone. But yeah, the reaction that I've gotten so many calls from my friends, family, well-wishers. It's an absolutely surreal feeling, and it's hard to believe that I've been able to do it, but it's a year of effort.
That with paying off. And there's a 0.7. I think there's a 1 mark difference between
1 mark difference. Yes.
So 1 mark is like somebody has to be at 1, right? It does not mean that 1 is more, or 1 is better prepared than 4, or 4 is lesser prepared, or even it doesn't mean that you were better prepared than somebody who got a All India rank 7. It's just 2 hours which matters, Aditya, right? So everyone has to get placed at some place. So this is our mark. So we are extremely happy. We are extremely proud, Aditya. We will connect again and do plan a trip to Delhi. If I'm
yes, sir, definitely. So I definitely want to meet you in person, and thank you for just everything you've done for me and for everyone at NPLC.
No, they definitely will meet soon, and our party is due, right?
Done, sir.